Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to pop on and show you how to do a sculpture. So the first thing you're going to do, push the cuticles back, right? And then you're going to take the shine off the nail plate. Getting all the tree gem off the nail plate, prepping it really, really good, okay? All right, and then you're gonna get the dust off the nail plate. And I'm just using a little alcohol on a paper towel, because that's what I have. You could use like a cotton free or even like a cotton swab if you prefer. All right, so we're gonna do pink and white sculptures. So what we're gonna do, this is your form, okay? You're going to peel your form off. This is how I prefer to do it. So I serrate right here. There's a little serrated edge right here. And I put my thumbs in between the black grid. And I'm gonna rock it. The reason why we're rocking it is because you wanna put a C curve in your form. Most people's nails are not straight, right? They have curve to them. So what you're looking for is a really nice C curve. Don't be scared to rock it like this, okay? And then you want to go straight on the nail, as straight as possible. So what I do is I get it as straight as possible. Hold on, let me fix this. I think I want it a little more curved right here. Yeah, that's better, I think. All right, so you're gonna go straight on, stick into my fingers, okay? And once you have it where you want it, you're gonna just pinch the sides right here. Don't pinch it and don't close it off just yet, because what you're looking for is to make sure that there's not a huge gap in between your form and your natural nail. Then you could pinch it right here. And if you're doing like a square nail, pinch it here. If you're, you could pinch it further if you're doing like a stiletto, okay? And then you could wrap it here and it should lock in for you. So it's not gonna slide. All right, and then I'll show you another way on our next, well, I'll do it real quick. All right, so you could see that these forms are super straight. That's why I'm telling you, rock a C curve in there, because when you're trying to put something straight on something that has a C curve in it, it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna be compatible. So you wanna make sure that you put your C curve in it. A lot of people like to take this little tab and put it underneath, just kind of for like added strength. I like to serrate mine. Oh, or tear the thing off. That one's super sticky. Let me get a new one. All right. So I'm gonna put this right here. And I'm gonna serrate it. And again, I'm gonna put my thumbs on the outside of the little black grid, and you're just gonna rock it. This one's a little bit more stiff because it has that little sticker underneath of it. All right. So then go straight on your client's fingernail. And then just push right here on the sides. I think that I'm actually, and you know what, you could even take like an orange wood stick or the back of your brush and kind of like, oh, not kind of break it off. There we go. And then wrap. So that way you don't have any, it's pretty flush with your form, okay? Because you don't want a ledge underneath. If you have separation in between your form and your natural nail, you're gonna have a big bulk of product underneath the client's nail. And you'll have to drill it out, and it just creates an extra step for you. So now what we're gonna do is dehydrate and prime. I'm gonna prime. And remember, make sure that you don't use a lot of primer because you don't want to flood your hyponychium area. I'm just going to use what I need on the natural nail only. All right. All right, so I haven't used my brush today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down the bottom of my dappen dish, just getting the bubbles out of my brush, just softening it up. I'm going to wipe it off, and we're just going to begin. All right, so here we go. So you're going to dip just the flag of your brush like we always talk about, just the tip. Wipe it off, and you're going to go into your product at a 45-degree angle with just the tip. Try not to go into the belly with your brush, okay? Or with your product. You're gonna take only what you can control. You'll see that it's textured. You're gonna let it smooth out. If you let it smooth out like this, it'll be easier to control on this smooth surface, okay? You kind of let it tack up a little bit. So what I do is I place it right here at the smile line, right? At the stress point is what I'm trying to say. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember that, because we're gonna go in and we're gonna adjust the smile line. It does not have to be perfect when you first apply it. You're not looking for perfection because you could always kind of adjust it, make it as deep as you want, make it, you know, it's gonna depend on your client, what they want. And I'm going to add a little bead right here. And I'm going to swipe because you can see that there's not balance there. And just smooth it out, making sure that it goes from sidewall to sidewall. And you want to find balance in your smile line, okay, before you move forward. I'm going to put a little bead right here because it looks like it's a little bit thinner on this side. And then I'm going to swipe. Okay, so I got my smile line, right? Then I'm just going to, oh no, my form is crooked. My form just slipped. Hold on, let me fix my form. I don't like that at all. Luckily, my white was stiffened up good enough that I could kind of take it off and just restart it a little bit. Had it been, you know, still kind of pliable or runny, this would not work. This would be not fun to deal with. All right, there we go. I'm gonna wrap it. And you could also take this little thing and put it here if you want to help hold it down. That works as well. Okay, again, just the tip. Go in at a 45-degree angle with your product. Let it sit just till the texture is out of your bead. It'll be easier to control on the form. And then you're gonna place it and push it across where you want it to go. You're just gonna pat it. All right. You could see that my product is not running everywhere. It's really important that you have good consistency with a form, because if you don't, then you're going to be working really hard when you're doing forms. I'm going to add a little corner to this side. And I'm just going to feather it back to blend it. All right, so then we're gonna move on to our pink. Okay, so you're gonna dip just the tip, and you're going to go into your pink at a 45. You could let it self-level a little bit on your brush, and then place it right above your white, and push it where you want it to go. And at the cuticle area, you wanna use a 45-degree angle with your brush, so it goes a little bit more flush. Now, if for any reason you get the pink on your white, just swipe it off, because we've talked about with pink and whites before, if you pull your white or your pink over your white, it kind of makes a cloudiness to your white. Okay, so then you're gonna go in, you're gonna dip your brush, go into your clear, get a nice little bead. All right, place it in the stress point area, work it across, and just pat, pat, pull. And you're gonna just seal that area so that there's no disconnection from your pink and your white in your smile line, okay? Ooh, I got a piece of glitter. Oops. And that's it. Just gonna smooth this a little bit. All right, so let's do our next one. All right, again, we've already done our prep work, and we're just going to apply our product at this point. We put primer on, so just dip just the tip, going at a 45-degree angle with your white, and you're going to, you know what, maybe I should do just a regular so you guys could see how I do that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just the tip, and I'm gonna just go in with my brush, 45-degree angle. We're gonna do a one color so that you could see. I always start in zone 2. Okay, and I'm just gonna pat it out. Pat it all the way across. All right. I like to go to zone 1 next, preferably. But you don't have to. Remember, when you're by the cuticle, you want to be at a 45-degree angle with your brush. Pat it all the way across. I'm going to pat this a little bit because this is stiffening up on me. There's a little piece that I missed right here, so I'm just gonna get a tiny little bead and just fix that. Okay, and then dip in and just continue on with the tip. This is all preference where you start, really. You know, if you start in zone 1 and work your way to 3, that's okay too. It's all preference. It's whatever's easiest for you. All right. So just pushing it where you want it to go. All right, and that's it. Now, when you're working with acrylic, I know that you guys all know this, but the sound that you're listening for is, that's when you know it's safe to take your form off. If you hear like a sound that's like this, do not take it off, because you'll usually take your tip off with it, your free edge. Okay, so be careful when you do that. I'm just gonna move my product out of the way and cover it up so I don't get dust in it. And I'll start with my pink and white because that's where I started. And we can file it. Let me get a file. Again, if you're starting with a brand new file, you want to make sure that you knock the sharp edges off the side of your file so that you don't cut your clients. I'm just going to do that real quick. All right. So then you're going to take your file in the direction that you want it to go. Remember to angle on your sides to make sure that you're not getting any, or you're getting all the snaggles from the sides, like this sidewall area, okay? So go straight down. If you're doing square, it depends on what shape you're gonna do. And then angle just on the side to make sure that you are getting those little snaggles. And then you could go in and file, making sure that you're using movements that mimic the shape of the nail that you want to take. Remember, anytime you stay and do this, you're going to put a flat spot in your nail, and you just really don't want that because it's going to create more work for you before your client could leave. All right, so round movements when you file, making sure that you get by the cuticle really well so that as the nail grows out, it's nice and flush. And I do want you guys to practice hand filing because, again, State Board does not allow you to use an e-file during your practical exam. Okay, so you're just gonna file, and if you laid your product smoothly, you shouldn't have to file too much. And it has a nice apex. It's slimmer at, or more flush at the cuticle area, and then your free edge is thinner as well. Let me get a little alcohol so I can wipe it off and show you so you can see it better. I don't know, is that better? There we go. And you can see that you want to find balance from cuticle area to free edge and from sidewall to sidewall. So what you're looking for is that the tip of your nail is all pretty symmetric in thickness, and then you want to make sure that you have good balance just in general all around, okay? All right, so there's that, and then we'll do this one. All right, again, taking your file in the direction that you want it to go. Remember to get those little snaggles from the underneath. And you know, just so you guys know, if you take your form off, and you know, a lot of times what happens is sometimes you'll have a little piece right here that you need to fill in because you missed it or whatever the case may be. When you take that off, you could still fix it. Okay, just because the form is off doesn't mean that you can't reapply a little acrylic here or there, wherever you need to place it. Okay, and again, I'm just filing with round movements. Making sure that I'm balanced. All right. You know, after you hand file, if this is a real client, you can go in and do your finishing work with your e-file. I do want you to practice with your e-file, but I do want you to master hand filing as well, because, you know, in the salon, what happens if your e-file breaks in the middle of a client? It's happened to me. It's probably happened to most nail technicians. And they'll tell you that if you're not used to hand filing, it could be quite a bummer. All right, let me get some alcohol and wipe it down so you can see it. And there we go. There's our form. There's our sculpture. Okay. All right, well, if you guys have any questions, let me know when we watch this together, or even on our discussion. Whatever you need, I'm here for you, okay? Talk to you soon.